Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Catherine. Today we're going to be talking about St. Nicholas, the St. Nicholas Novena, a little personal story I have about St. Nicholas and all that good stuff. So St. Nicholas, come on, he is one of the most famous saints ever, up there because he's Santa Claus, up there with like St. Patrick, St. Francis, of course St. Joseph of Mary, all that good stuff. But he's one of the most famous saints, and unfortunately a lot of what we know about him is legend, but we do know some concrete true things about him. We know that he was born in the 3rd century to wealthy parents and then went on to become a bishop in the 4th century. We know that he was born in modern day Turkey in a city called Patara. Now, his parents died when he was very young, so he inherited quite a bit of wealth. He was raised by his uncle. Now, although he was wealthy, he did go on to become a priest and donate very generously to people. The most famous story, the story that I love so much, is that there was a parishioner, probably a parishioner, we don't exactly know, a father though, we do know it was a father, who had 3 daughters. Unfortunately, the father did not have money for the dowries, and it seems like the family had some financial instability. So the father, oh my gosh, the father was going to sell his daughters into slavery. It's crazy to me that the way the world used to work. So St. Nicholas threw 3 bags of gold on 3 separate occasions to help pay for the daughter's dowry and to provide financial stability to the family. However, the legend is that the gold was slipped down the chimney and fell into socks that were hanging out to dry, or maybe through a window into the socks that were hanging out to dry, which is so cool. So that's how the tradition of the Christmas stocking came from. I love that story. We do know he was the bishop in Myra in the city of Lycia. I think I'm pronouncing those cities correctly. Again, modern day Turkey. This is so tragic because it wasn't Turkey at the time, right? The area, the country was a Christian nation for over 1,000 years. And then the Ottoman Empire came in, and now today, Turkey, the area where this great, huge, famous saint grew up, is 99% Muslim, with only about 0.2 to 0.4% being Christian, which is crazy. There is historical debate whether or not he was at the Council of Nicaea in the year 325. He may have been, he may not have been. He was under great persecution. He was most likely imprisoned, tortured, and released under Constantine. We don't know for certain. That is part of the legend, unfortunately, so we just don't know. However, I do have a funny little St. Nicholas story. So last year I was at a pro-life gala and I was talking to this adorable older Polish priest, and he comes up to me and he goes, "Are you married?" And I said, "No, Father, I'm not married." "Do you have a boyfriend?" "No, Father, I don't have a boyfriend." And he said, "Well, you should pray to St. Nicholas to find a husband. Because St. Nicholas saved those girls, maybe he can save you." So this year I will be praying the St. Nicholas Novena. You can either start the novena on November 27th or 28th. Some people like to end the novena on the vigil of a feast day or on the feast day itself. It really doesn't matter. So I'm going to be praying this novena to find a future husband. Maybe you want to pray this novena so that your friend can find a husband, but there are so many other reasons why you can pray this novena. For example, he was the patron saint of bakers, brides, grooms, sailors, and travelers. So you can pray this novena for any of those reasons. You can pray this novena for the conversion of Turkey. You can pray this novena for the poor and the suffering, of course, at this time, and he did so much work for the poor and suffering. You can also pray this novena for your local bishop, because God knows the bishops need our prayers right now. So for those persecuted Christians, there's so many reasons you could pray this novena. You could pray this novena for any reason. You do not have to pray this novena leading up to his feast day. You could pray this novena at any time of the year, but it's very special when you can pray leading up to the feast day of that wonderful, magnificent saint. You don't have to pray it so that it ends on December 6th, his feast day. If you want to pray this novena, I recommend the website Pray More Novenas. They're this adorable Catholic couple that run this website. They're really, really great, so I'll have that link down below. It doesn't cost any money or anything like that, and you can pray other novenas and start them. It's a really, really easy website to use. It's not sponsored or anything. I really like that website. I've been using them for probably at least 10 years now. Have you ever prayed this novena before? What intentions will you be praying for during this novena? Are you ready for St. Nicholas's feast day? Did you know the history of dropping the gold down into the sock, which made the Christmas stocking a famous tradition? Let me know in the comments below. If you could hit like and subscribe so you never miss one of my videos, I really appreciate it. I'm almost at 10,000 subscribers. I'm so excited. It's just so fun creating this YouTube channel with you guys, and I love the saints. I love reading about the saints. I love sharing these little personal stories. It's so fun. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you have any other saint stories, any stories about St. Nicholas, please do share them with me. I love them so much. Hope you're having a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.